subscribe. Darling Radio. Like and subscribe.
I want to talk about this Manosphere thing. You know, Andrew Tate, he's trending right now. And for the last couple of days, he's really been hopping on Twitter, just really using the N word with the hard ER. He denigrated Juneteenth, saying this is a ratchet N word holiday. And so he's really signal boosting messages to the alt right and the white supremacists, and people are really looking at him side-eyed. 50 Cent tweeted something about him today, like, hey, who is this white boy? And everybody jumped in, well, he's not white. His dad is black, and whoop-de-whoop. And that's the thing that we have to really look at when it comes to some of these Manosphere guys. A lot of these Manosphere dudes, Andrew Tate, he's a part of that Manosphere. Myron Gaines, he's a part of that Manosphere. And Myron is still salty. Myron is still trying to get me to do another debate with him. So basically what they want to do troll spaces. They want to do some troll-ass nonsense. And I done told them what the terms are. They're going to have to break bread. Y'all going to have to break bread. I'm not about to be a part of your troll spaces. If y'all want me to come on down, y'all break that bread so that we can start trolling and snapping and doing everything. You know, I can troll with you, but it's going to cost. That one's going to cost a little cheddar. But these Manosphere dudes, we got to understand what that's really about. The Manosphere is really a myth. It's not about men going their own way or men's rights. The Manosphere, basically, that's like, that's a club of incels who basically morphed out of the PUA movement, which basically the PUA movement morphed out of my book, The Art of Macking. As everybody knows, and this was very well documented early on, those PUAs, those pickup artist dudes, they got most of their stuff from my book that I wrote in 1999, and it came out in 2000. I wrote a book called The Art of Macking. And many of you, if you've been around, you guys have read The Art of Macking. It was a huge bestseller back then, and it's still a bestseller now, to be honest. I still make a lot of money off that book. Classic book. That's the thing that really kicked off the PUA movement, the pickup artist movement, because the white boys, they started getting that book and they wanted to get some of the information and then kind of switch it up so it would be more palatable to the white audiences. So you had a guy named Neil Strauss, and Neil, there's pictures of me and Neil from back in the day. Neil's book, he came out with a book called, I think it was The Pickup Artist. His book came out in 2005, 5 years after mine. We had the same literary agent. It was a guy named Mark Gerald who was representing me. He then started representing Neil Strauss. So I'm telling you, there's direct connections with my stuff and those pickup artist dudes. And when I started doing a bunch of stuff on VH1, they kept trying to offer me these little janky deals. I'm like, nigga, I made more money in the streets than the shit you offering me. So they just got some white boys to put on little costumes and do these little gimmicky pickup artist type of things. So that whole pickup artist thing was basically a bastardization of my stuff. And I mean, these guys were, and they were kind of plagiarizing my stuff. Roosh V, that's another one of those pickup artist Manosphere guys. This dude had a book where he was plagiarizing so much of my shit. I'm like, nigga, you should have put my name on the cover. You understand? So around right after 2005, when a lot of these white pickup artists started popping up, I said, I'm going to take the game to another level. I'm going to do something called a podcast, just talking straight game. And at the time, podcasts were very new. Around 2005, 2006, podcasts were very new. Then I started doing something called the Mac Lessons Radio. We're the Mac Lessons Radio fans out here. You understand? Y'all know what it is. Y'all always hear people talking about Mac Lessons. So I said, I'm going to double down on the game as it's supposed to be. All these white boys are coming around with this pickup artist stuff, and they're mixing some goofy. They were talking about hypnotics. You got to hypnotize bitches, and what the hell? I said, no, 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 no. I got to get some clarity to what the game is about and what it's supposed to be. And I started doing Mac Lessons Radio. That became an instant classic. Nobody was talking about game for men back then in 2006. Y'all know how thorough Mac Lessons was, so that created a whole new genre. I'm not trying to pat myself on the back. I'm just telling you history here. So a lot of these guys who would end up being the Manosphere guys, these were guys who couldn't really soak the game up like they could, because the game has to be in you, it has to be on you. And a lot of these guys had a lot of insecurity. So they would get little bits and pieces of the game and then try to use that in order to intensify some of their little white supremacist views. So that little manosphere thing started popping off, where they would just get little bits and pieces. And instead of soaking the game up and letting the game get in them, they would try to weaponize some of the information so they could use it basically against women. They would take things and try to use their game goofy mindset to kind of dominate women. So they took the game somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of these manosphere dudes, these are dudes who kind of don't like women. They got a chip on their shoulder about women. That's why their whole vibe is aggressive and angry. And yeah, look at the Myrons and those guys. When they get women around, what do? They argue with women, curse them out, try to fight them. That ain't got nothing to do with what the game is about, man. All of that goofy ass stuff ain't got nothing to do with what the game is about. They done took some parts of the game and flipped it and made it real perverse. And we're going to the Andrew Tate guy. Now look at this guy, Andrew Tate. He's one of these manosphere guys. And look at the charges this guy got. This guy got all types of weird charges all around the world. You know what I'm saying? This ain't got nothing to do with what the game is about. It ain't got nothing to do with what the game is about. It's some real weird energy, perverted nonsense. And a lot of these dudes, who are real popular in that manosphere, these are these almost white dudes. And a lot of them tried to get down with the alt-right, but they were somewhat rejected. What's this guy? Mark, what's that? Cernovich? What's that Cernovich guy? I think he was a part of that whole pickup artist thing, and he became one of these alt-right types. A lot of these white boys became a part of the alt-right. I know Roosh V, he tried to get clicked in with the alt-right. He was one of these pickup artist dudes who stole so much of my stuff, but he got rejected because he's like Middle Eastern or something like that. So they wouldn't really let him in. You understand? Look at Myron. Myron's the little musty Sudanese dude who he identifies as white, but he's not. They don't let him all the way in. They just let him be a mascot. So this is why they always try to double down on this anti-blackness. Look at Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate, he's one of these guys who was almost white. Because when you look at him, you kind of think he might be white. You understand? He was almost white, but those black genes, that black dad or black granddad, stopped him from being white. So now the anger and vitriol is towards the black community. Like, damn you guys. I could have been white if it weren't for you guys and your black genes messing it up for me. So that's why it's always, he's hopping online, yelling the N-word and talking crazy. You got to watch these guys and see where this stuff is coming from. This is why I love the delineation movement, because some of these people who have a little melanin, we think that we're supposed to embrace them because they got a little melanin. No, we got to see what people's backgrounds are. We got to see what their mindsets are. You understand? We got to stop falling for the banana in the tailpipe. Everybody who is not Anglo, that don't automatically mean they're on our team. Everybody who's not Anglo, that doesn't mean that they're automatically on our team. Did y'all see the clip I posted earlier of the Mexican dudes complaining about Kendrick Lamar's concert? Did y'all see that? Family, boy, the nerve. It's a Mexican podcaster. Somebody said that they're clicked in with No Jumper. I don't know. They might be. I don't know. I don't know. There's so many people over at No Jumper. I don't know. So these guys are doing a podcast and they were talking about the Kendrick Lamar concert. And they were like, yeah, man, I don't know. They didn't have no Mexicans up there on stage representing. And I think they did have some Mexican, Jeezy, he performed, but he wasn't on stage where everybody was taking that group photo and showing unity. So they were complaining that the Juneteenth concert, because that's what it was. It was the Kendrick Lamar show. Lamar show was a Juneteenth celebration. That was a Juneteenth celebration. It happened on Juneteenth. It's about Black unity. So they were complaining. How come no Mexican was up there with the brothers representing LA and whoop-de-whoop? And one of the other guys on the podcast, he was like, well, it was Juneteenth. And they were talking about Juneteenth, and these dudes didn't even know what Juneteenth was about. One of the guys was like, yeah, isn't Juneteenth about the Tulsa race massacre? Or is it about Selma? So you're upset that you're not invited to a Juneteenth celebration and you don't even know what Juneteenth is about. You're talking about Tulsa? And then the guy, the Mexican guy was like, yeah, man, it's about oppression. Mexicans, we've been oppressed on this land too. We've been oppressed. Man, folks will try to tether on to our stuff. And family, this is what I've been telling people. The reason why we did microphone check, and it was important for us to talk about what was going on the East Coast in the 70s. We got to nip that in the bud because I'm telling you, the next narrative that they're trying to move to, they're trying to move that Latinos are 50-50 in hip hop. They're trying to do it out here too. They're trying to make it seem like Latinos should get equal recognition in West Coast hip hop. I'm telling you, that's where it's trying to go. They've been trying to low-key crowbar that narrative in the mix. They've been testing the waters with it. I'm telling you, that's where they're trying to go. That's why I said we're going to have to do a microphone check West Coast version too, because that's the next talking point that they're trying to crowbar. If we sit there and let people, folks will sit here and erase the hell out of you if you let them. We have to say enough is enough. But again, shout out to Kendrick and those guys. And truth be told, behind the scene, now for the public, everybody's on code as they should about the Kendrick concert and the unity and the optics of it. Everybody's on code about that. But even behind the scenes, I've been hearing some rumbling out here in LA. There's some people who kind of feel a certain way about how that went down because they were thinking, okay, how's that about unity? And there was mostly Pyrus up there because a lot of folks don't know the gang politics out here. Kendrick, when they were doing that, the concert, most of the guys on stage, like 70 Pyrus, they had about 4 Crips up there. So most of those cats were Pyrus. So a lot of people out here on the streets are kind of, even though they're cool with what happened, some people there's some grumblings here and there. But it's not going to elevate too much where it's going to be a thing publicly. But I'm just saying behind the scenes, people are kind of like, oh, was it unity? It's that type of thing. But you keep it behind the scenes. That's not something that should be brought to the forefront because the messaging and the optics were where they were supposed to be. You see. We're going to get some calls in a minute. We got Great Black Shark in the building. Great Black Shark, hop on, brother.
Man, can you hear me?
I can hear you. What's going on with you, fam?
Man, I won't take too long, but I'm so glad that you addressed this particular subject here about this Manosphere myth. And I want to go ahead and bring this to your attention. You probably already know it, but just in case you don't, Where we have to, when I say we, the black grassroots over here in New Black Media, where we have to worry about that manosphere thing is there's a white manosphere and there's a black manosphere. And the black
Yes.
manosphere is an offshoot of the white manosphere. I won't mention people's names or what have you, but I'll definitely hit you up after this space and fill you in on some stuff. But the bottom line is this: with that black manosphere space, we have to worry about a lot of bleed over into our spaces because a lot of these dudes, they hate the hell out of black women. A lot of these little offshoots like SYSBM, Save Yourself Black Man, like, dude, it's a bunch of different sectors to the black manosphere that a lot of people don't know anything about. And they try to hide that when they come over into your spaces because, like, they like when you talk about things like Mac Listen, this, that, the third. But low key, what a lot of them will do, they'll be like, man, Tariq would be cool if he just didn't speak about the pro-black stuff or that black first stuff. They're nowhere to be found when we try to handle black grassroots issues because
Right.
we have this crap called black male first, and over here is black man,
I
black
have a bad
woman,
connection. I'll drop down.
so
Let me see right now.
so the deal is, it's like a lot of them will try to like kind of blend in because believe it or not, brother, some of them have been over here. They talk like they cool and everything, but notice they'll never show up when we're talking about trying to get things done for the community. And like
Mm.
with Aaron in particular, he would be more considered over there into that like white manosphere space. But like I'm glad you brought that up because like that's really something. I'm just gonna say this and get ready to land my plane here. A lot of those clowns are very dangerous. I'm gonna have to send you
Yeah.
some information on some stuff that you might not be aware of, but like, yeah, we gonna have to really tighten up on that over here in these spaces because over here together we got sense enough to know with these white supremacists coming against us, all these other white adjacent groups, they're united with their women, and we can't win this fight without our women. So with that said, my brother, I'll be playing.
My man, thank you so much. Great Black Shark in the building. Let's get Marquette Devon. Marquette, brother Marquette, if I'm pronouncing your name right, sir. Marquette, turn your microphone on, sir.
Tariq, how are you?
I'm good, man. What's going on?
I'm well. I just want to drop in real quick. I'm currently in talks with Myron about a 1v1 debate. My friend told me that you needed some cash. He's a huge fan of yours. I like your stuff as well.
Mm-hmm.
I talked to Myron. I wanted to put up the cash and make this happen. He wants to do the business in a different way, but I want to let you know that it's in the works. And if you'd be kind enough to DM me and say, hey, Marquette, I need this amount, I want to put that deal together.
Hey, man, that'd be great. That would be absolutely great. Let me hold on. I'm gonna follow you if I'm not following you. I'm following you now, and we'll see what's popping. I'll send you a DM and let's see what we can do.
I sent you a DM on IG. I don't really mess around on Twitter too much. I'm pretty much on here just to talk to you right now, but I want to put this deal together. I think it'll be a great conversation, and we'll make it work. We'll figure it out. And thanks for the time.
No doubt. Yes, indeed. Oh yeah. So Myron and those guys. Yeah, I'm not about to spank these niggas for free. Yeah, I already gave them one free spanking. Yeah, everything else is gonna cost. They're gonna have to break bread. They ain't gonna have to break bread. Empowered black gal. Empowered black gal. What's up, sis? Oh, where you at, sis? Hey.
Are you able to hear me?
I can hear you. How are you, beloved?
I can't hear anybody.
Uh-oh, I can hear you. Uh-oh, I can't hear you now, dear. All right. I will get you back up, sis. I'll get you back up in a second. I can't hear you now. Superstar. Let's get Superstar in the building. Superstar, unmute your microphone.
Yo, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. What's up, brother?
What's up, man? I just wanted to tap in. Shout out to you for the microphone check, Doc. And shout out to the West Coast, because I've been seeing this narrative that, every time some hip hop discussion comes up, you got some corny nigga always trying to make it an East Coast, West Coast thing.
Right.
I'm from Queens, New York. Everybody over here with Kendrick, man. I don't even know how to do that little dance that y'all be doing over there, but I be trying. So to everybody out there trying to put that divide between East versus West, stop that shit, man. We rocking with the West Coast. And also for the Manosphere niggas, I feel like they be having some valid points, but then it gets just trailed off into just like bitter, hurt nigga shit where it's like, oh, she didn't say hi to me. I gave her a chocolate Reese's Pieces in second grade and she broke my heart.
Right.
So they lose me after a while. But I be trying to listen, but then they lose me. So just
Real
be
talk.
careful with that if the dudes is tuned in, man.
Thank you so much. Yeah, man. A lot of it gets into like insecure, bitter stuff that these dudes be projecting. Because see, again, a lot of these dudes, man, especially some of the non-FBA cats, some of these dudes come from these little racial backgrounds where they're not quite white. They're almost white, but not quite. There's like a racial identity that they're struggling with. You understand? And they try to distance themselves from black people so that they can try to get in good with the white supremacists, but the white supremacists won't fully accept them. So it's a tragic tether type of thing going on with a lot of these dudes. It's a tragic tether vibe. And I don't have no sympathy for them because they spend most of their time trying to denigrate us. And I have zero respect for that. Battle. What's up, Battle?
Hey there, Tariq. How you doing?
I'm good, Battle.
Good, good, good. I emailed you. I guess I don't know if I had the right email. Some suggestions. I do live televised and event productions,
Okay.
and I want to help enhance what you're doing.
Hmm.
Um, so I
What
had.
city? What city you in, brother?
I'm here in Los Angeles.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was gonna come by the museum and have a sit down. Wanted to sit down and chat with you more in detail. But I kind of sent a synopsis of what I want to present to you as far as enhancing the reparations rally movement or any other events that you have that you need help with as far as live events.
Okay. Do you have a
Um,
reel? Do you have a reel of some of your stuff?
no, I do not.
That's going to be the first thing, brother. You got to have a reel of some of your stuff so we can see what your production looks like.
Well, because I've worked with, and you probably are familiar with Jesse Collins and cassette productions and stuff like that. Like I've done Grammy Awards and BET Awards, stuff like that,
Okay.
as a
Okay.
production manager
Oh, cool.
and logistics person.
Okay.
So I have my production binders of all the productions that I've done, music cares, all those kinds of things. So I do a lot of the logistics for that.
Got it. Okay. Well, yeah. I'll check the email and we'll chop it up that way. All right. Mars. What's up, Mars?
Hey, Tariq.
How you
Uh,
doing, Mars?
I'm doing well, thanks, man. I hope you're doing well.
Yes, I am.
I had the absolute pleasure of listening to that debate, so-called debate. It was more like a male role model spanking that you gave them, and
It's-
it was so funny.
yeah.
10 on 1, and they couldn't touch you. But
Oh, yeah.
also, so I just first want to thank you for the
Yes, sir.
entertainment value, but also you educated a lot of people that day. I don't know if they realize it yet, but yeah, you had people claiming that they were black and telling you on stage in front of, I guess, thousands of people that black people were stupid.
Hmm.
Like it was one of the most embarrassing things I've ever heard come out of their mouths, and they are white supremacists.
Hmm.
Absolutely, they're wannabes, but they're useful idiots. And one of the other things I noticed is out of a 2-hour spanking,
Hmm.
uh, about 25. It only took them 25 minutes, so they give you 1/8 the time to talk about your subject, and then they had to go right into their strategy of trying to get you to side with them against the Jews, and that
Hmm.
was their big strategy was, well, if we could just get the FBAs to hate the Jews too, then we can hoodwink them and we can finesse them into, we can use them in our movement to hate everybody. It's not they don't just hate Jews, obviously. They hate everybody who's not exactly like them, has their exact same religion, their skin tone, even though they've got these token other people of different races that follow them around.
Hmm.
And it was just really fascinating as a psychological experiment to see what they had going on. And I think you handled them quite well. And I want you to know that that's what I heard. I heard a bunch of people that wanted to convince you to give up your struggle and your mission in life so that you would follow them into their little battle against some other group of people. There's 15 million Jews in this world, and that's their big bugaboo, you know?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and let me touch on that because and notice I didn't fall for that, family. And you watch that when the white supremacists and the white supremacist adjacents try to get you to get into the it's really Jewish supremacy, family. You never fall for that trick bag. That's a major trick bag. That's a trick, and then they try to do the peer pressure. You scared to say something about the Jew? The Jews got you scared. Are you on the Jewish payroll? That ain't gonna work either. That cornball peer pressure don't work. We play past that because what we don't do, you stay codified. You don't get into just racial or ethnic bigotry just for the sake of bigotry. You don't do that. I don't do that. I'm not criticizing people for being an ethnic religion. I'm not doing that. You don't do that. I don't criticize people for being white. Notice when I talk about people, I talk about white supremacists. You see? You never hear me say, man, white people ain't shit. I don't do that. I talk about white supremacists. They're a problem. That's not based on your race, that's based on your actions. I don't attack Africans. That's another lie. When people say, you be going in on Africans. No, I don't. I go in on tethers. There's a difference between our African and Caribbean brothers and sisters and tethers. Tethers, that's based on an action. That's based on something you're doing where you're trying to undermine us. You're trying to have some kind of vitriol towards us. You're trying to negatively cosplay as us. That's what I'm critical of. You see, I don't do that. I don't engage in bigotry. I call out an action. So when they try to say, well, go in on the Jews, no, I'm not going to go in on Jewish people because they're Jewish. Because you have Jewish people who are black. You have Jewish people who are white who are not racist. You have Jewish people who are white who don't have any power or who are not racist. But the Jewish people who practice white supremacy, I'm just putting you under the banner of white supremacy. I don't separate white supremacists. If there's a Jewish person who's anti-black, you go into the white supremacist category. I'm not breaking you up in little groups because you operate as a team with the Anglo white supremacists. All the white supremacists are equal. Don't let these people trick bag you. I don't break the oppressor class up. I do not break them up. You're all under the same guise. You understand? Brother Rob J, what's up? Rob? Rob J, where you at? All right, Rob. All right, Rob. I had you in here and you got quiet. I don't know what happened, Rob. Mimi, what's up with Mimi?
How are you?
How are you, Miss Mimi?
I'm great. How are you?
I've been good. We haven't heard from you in a while.
Okay, well, I just see you still trying to be. Why don't you want to be a Negro? And here's my question for you. Let me ask you something. Hold on.
Mimi, slow down. Mimi, they haven't given you your medication, Mimi. You haven't gotten your medication yet, Mimi. Who's your caretaker, Mimi? How come they don't give you your medication, sweetie? Go ahead, Mimi. Mimi, she seems like a sweet soul.
No, I'm fully funded. What's the difference between Malcolm X and Martin Luther King?
Okay.
Is it Martin Luther King election interference?
Hold on, Mimi, she seems like a sweet soul. She's just crazy as cat shit. So y'all please excuse her. I try to be inclusive to have everybody up to kind of speak, but sometimes Mimi, the bulb is in the lamp.
MLK was on poppy seeds.
The bulb is in the lamp, but the light ain't on. Go ahead, Mimi. What do you have to say, dear? Go ahead, Mimi. Mimi's talking about poppy seeds.
No. Because you was.
Go ahead, dear.
Here I am.
Go ahead.
Okay, so Martin Luther King, he kind of favors election interference because Martin Luther King is born, resigns in Georgia, right? So why the fuck he over there in Gadsden, Alabama? Why he on the like
Oh
he
Lord.
ain't
Okay.
well
Okay. Whoever Mimi's caretaker is, please give her her correct dosage of medicine. Y'all don't let this woman run around all willy nilly. Just I blame the caretakers. Okay. Let me get some more people in here. Bless her heart. Bless her heart. We got to be patient with some people. We got to be patient. I'm not going to beat up on her. Bless her heart. She means well. She don't know no better. Um, let me see who else we got. Um, let's get Will. Let's get Will Pujols. Will Pujols. I think that's your name, sir, right? Will.
Hey, how you doing, brother?
I'm good. Will, how are you, sir?
I'm good. I'm good. I just learned about you the other day when you were taking on those white supremacists,
Hmm.
sympathizers. I want to call them because they'll never be white supremacists because they'll never be white, although they
Hmm.
want to be white.
Right. Yes.
And I loved how you handled the situation, brother. That's what I wanted to come up and talk about. I'm very concerned with the atmosphere right now, especially on this platform. There's a lot of white supremacists who feel that they can say whatever they want because they're not in real life, right? They're on this platform behind these emojis and these fake profiles, and they'll say whatever they want, but we know that in the end, in real life, they're not going to say any of this stuff.
Yeah.
So you're doing a great job. My whole concern, and the reason why I even went into that space when you were debating Myron Gaines and these other clowns, I call them clowns at this point, is these men are teaching kids how to disrespect women and how to go about their life in a completely wrong way.
Yeah.
And it's something that I've been calling them out for. And right around that time, you came in and just manhandled these guys. And I like the way that you did it. I like what you represent because I understand, coming to America, I understood that there is a black struggle here that
Hmm.
no one but you will be able to understand. And last year, I learned about this some more. And, people have tried to get me to go against what you represent. But I think that what you represent is truth, is
Yeah.
truth from the eyes of a black American from America, not from somewhere else, from America. And I learned about the word tether, and
Mm.
someone tried to tell me, well, you shouldn't like this guy because he calls people like you tethers. I'm from the Dominican Republic, right?
Right.
And I completely agree with the word tether because I see even my own people and people from, other countries that want to come in and side with white supremacists just because they fear that they're going to be targeted in the white supremacist racism.
Right.
And I will never fall for that. I am someone who I embrace the black community here in America, and I understood that these are the men that have fought for my liberties, my rights, right? I was drafted at the age of 17 to play baseball. And if it wasn't for Jackie Robinson and if it wasn't for the brothers that put up a fight against white supremacism during their time, I wouldn't even be able to play the game, right?
Mm.
So I've understood this from the beginning. And again, brother, I want you to know that there are people out there that are not from your community that completely agree with you and understand the struggle in the fight against white supremacism. All of
Yes.
these America First, Groypers and all of these other people, they're all white supremacists. And
Hmm.
people need to understand that. And just
Yes.
because someone from outside of America wants to come in and act and cosplay like they're black Americans and say, oh, we don't face racism. You guys shouldn't even be listening to those people.
Hmm.
So,
Hmm.
so Tariq, I just want to let you know, brother, that you got an ally here. Again, I'm from the Dominican Republic, but I live here in America. I love America, and I love what your community has done for America and what you continue to do for America, and particularly yourself, because now I've looked into you, brother, and I got to say you're doing some fantastic work.
My man, I appreciate that, brother. Thank you so much. And this brother is not a tether. He's from the Dominican Republic, and he's not a tether. This is what we're talking about. When you come over here and you ride with us, and you're a reinforcement, and you want to be an ally, that we all good. That's not tether behavior. Tetherism is a behavior, and this is what we're talking about. We want brothers like this. You want to come over and rock with what we got going on. You understand, brother Ian J, Mr. Ian J.
Hey, what's going on with you, Tariq?
I'm good, man. How are you, bro?
Ain't shit over here sipping this E&J as I do every day.
My man.
Hell yeah. I just wanted to you know, I just wanted to let you know I appreciate the verbal spanking you gave on Myron.
Yes.
But and I wanted to point out one of his points that he said during the argument. I think like the first 5 minutes or something, he wanted to bring up the point of, oh, when the police pull us over, when they see me and when they see us, they just see niggers because the police are white supremacists. But he didn't want to admit to the fact that we're in a global system of white supremacy. So he kind of like contradicted himself right there, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Right. Because you can't say we're not in an oppressive system, but you just admitted when they see us, they see niggas. Right?
Exactly. And then
Yeah.
also I just have an opinion I wanted to go over with the family because
Go ahead.
I'm heavy in these white spaces. You know what I'm saying? I go in there, I go in their spaces, I give them work, and then every time you debunk them with facts and truth, they go to so,
Mm.
as a family, I think we all need to come up with a synonymous word for the white people, like kid lovers.
Yeah.
Something like that. Something that's really gonna hit them where it hurts because like honky and cracker and shit, that they don't give a damn about that shit. But I go in these spaces, I let them. You're a kid
No, no.
lover. They
Let
they
me tell, no,
call.
no. Let me tell you what gets them. What gets them is white supremacist.
Mm,
That's the thing. That's why they're so triggered by it because
yes,
it's
sir.
the truth and it's not an epithet. See, that's the thing that gets them. When you say, "Hey, man, you're a suspected white supremacist," they get bent out of shape because one, it's not an epithet. Two, it's their word. That's the thing. That's why they try to run away from it and try to deny being white. White supremacists, that's their word. They were running around telling us that they were white supremacists. A lot of people forget that. That's not an epithet. These people put laws out here using the word white supremacy. They would put out books talking about how white and supreme they were. This is their talking point. They would walk around with signs during the Jim Crow era talking about white supremacy. We want to maintain white supremacy. Those white feminists in that first wave, Elizabeth Canton and all of these people, they were talking about how they want to maintain white supremacy. Thomas Jefferson talked about white supremacy. You understand? That's their word. That's the thing that gets them. You see? So what they try to do is play the denial of whiteness game. Well, no, it's not white, it's Jewish. I'm not really white, I'm Hispanic. I'm not really white, I'm a 184th Native American. So they get to scrambling. So white supremacist, great word, because it's a fact. Mike Brandt. What's up, Mike?
Hey Tariq, how you doing? I've been meaning to get your book. I wanted to read your book, get to know a little bit more about you. But just my question for you, man. Do you think this is the problems you're speaking on? Do you think it's more like a regional problem across the country, or do you think it's just a general problem throughout the
Yeah, well,
world?
white supremacy is global. We are under a global system of white supremacy. There's nowhere on the planet that's not under the thumb of white supremacy. White supremacy is a global phenomenon. All right? That makes sense?
Yeah, it makes total sense. Yeah, no, I just know because I'm from the Northeast, and I feel like it's a little bit less
In the
serious
Northeast?
than in other segments. I mean, because I
The
drive down like to
Northeast?
South
You mean
Carolina.
Boston, Massachusetts? Really? The
Yeah, but you got
Northeast?
to understand. No, I get it, but I got to understand when I'm driving down
Woo.
87 in into Spartanburg and I see a 50 by 100 Southern flag hanging up, on a 200-foot flagpole. That turns me the wrong way. That hurts me.
Man, the
So
Northeast, boy, they ban Boston and the New Hampshire, Governor LePage, the governor, was it New Hampshire? He was talking about it's only 6 black people out there in New Hampshire. And he was talking about the problem with drugs is that black people from New York are coming up here raping white women. I mean, a governor said this stuff, So yeah,
Yeah, I guess Massachusetts, but I guess I'm more from New Jersey. So New Jersey is more of like there's like the melting pot in New York, and we're just all the shit that melted over to the outside. So, all right,
all right.
yeah, I don't want to take up too much time. Thanks,
Thank,
Tariq.
thank you.
You have a good
Yeah, I
day.
know he didn't say the Northeast wasn't too much racism in the Northeast. Man, do y'all hear black basketball players complaining about playing in Boston? How they dreaded playing in Boston because of all the damn racism. Did y'all see those interviews? LeBron and all of those cats said the worst place to play was Boston. That racism was vile up there. They said they had to watch where they ate when they went up there. They couldn't even go eat at certain places because they thought the food was going to be poisoned. It was so damn bad up there. Man, please. I know he didn't say the Northeast. They got slavery started in the Northeast. It started up there in New England first, over here. Oh yeah, we don't see. They try to regulate all the racism to the South. Oh, that's been a big trick bag. Oh, the South is so racist. Oh, they're not like us liberal Northerners. So shit. What did Malcolm X say? Malcolm said everything under Canada is the South. Everything under the Canadian border is the South. There's nothing but the truth. Melrose, hop on. Then I'm gonna get my good brother Sage in the building. Melrose. Wait, hold on. I didn't get Mel. Let me get Sage and then I get Melrose. Sage, brother Sage in the building.
How's everything, brother Flex? How are you, brother?
I'm good, man. How are you,
I'm
sir?
good, brother. And as you know, every time you come, I'm from the Northeast too. So let me tell you about the Northeast, since there's no racism up here. Don't laugh, bro. Don't laugh. All right. I don't know if that gentleman visited a place by the name of Staten Island. You can go down Arden Boulevard in Staten Island. They have Confederate flags waving from trees in Arden Boulevard in Staten Island. You can go to Sylvester
Mm,
Manor in Long Island. That's a whole
that's a
plantation out there.
slave plantation. Yep.
You take your ass 15 to 30 minutes up north from the Bronx, you would run all the way into Confederateville. So I don't know what you're talking about, this Northeast. There's no racism out here. In New York, you call that a melting pot, sir. We live segregated within all 5 boroughs, sir. There's parts of
Hmm.
Brooklyn that Italians live. There's parts that Caribbeans live. There's parts that Foundationals live. There's parts that Asians live. This is not no melting pot. That's the whole misinformation that's sent out from New York. We don't live amongst each other, even within our own borough. So, brother, please, I
Hmm.
know you from the West Coast. Much love to Kendrick. Much love to the West.
Yes, sir.
But don't let them lie on the Northeast. It's just as racist as here as it is everywhere else. I'm gonna leave you with this. Malcolm said, if you're talking about racism stops at the border, you're talking about maybe the Canadian border and all the way down, brother. And with that, I'm gonna
Hmm.
land.
My man, thank you, brother Sage. Let's get Melrose. Melrose, you ready?
Peace, family. Am I coming through loud and
Yes, you are.
clear?
What's going on, Mel?
All's well. I want to say congratulations to you, Afro Elite, Marcel, Black Alpha, Vicky Diller, Riza Islam, everyone that was part of the rally, everyone that was in mic check. Shouts to our lovely sister Nikki the
Hmm.
God. But I wanted to talk on something that I noticed about the rally. Tamika Mallory, she was part of a supposed reparations rally across the street during the same time as ours. And afterwards, she was up on her gram using the terms cash reparations.
Mm,
So I see that as her and like the squad, the squad members, Corey Bush and them, Jamal Bowman, aka Mr.
mm,
Bojangles. I see them trying to pivot and begin to use our language. So I say that to say, we here in Foundational Black American Grassroots, we have to create the outline and the rules and the regulations for who's going to get a confirmation to receive reparations. Because if we don't create the functionality of what will become the new Freedmen's Bureau, I'm not sure what it's going to be called, but we have to create the functionality of it now.
yes.
Because if we don't, they'll say, here's your reparations, and here's Tamika Mallory and Corey Bush. They're going to lead it.
Hmm.
So we just have to create all of that stuff
Real
now.
talk.
And I wanted to say, peace to everybody and have a great summer. Y'all take
Thank you
care.
so much. Very, very good points. Baba Sla.
All right. Hey, Tariq. I just wanted to say I really liked your debate with Myron Gaines and Sneeko. Just like you said, like when they lie, you win, and they were lying. They were lying out through their teeth. Like they were saying like what Lyndon B. Johnson was Jewish and
Right.
stuff.
No, yeah, they
Yeah,
were just right.
and basically like kind of similar to that. I wanted to know like, do you know of Haz al-Din? He did a rally in Dearborn recently. Like he also debates a lot of these people who try to deflect it to Jewish people.
Now, what's his name?
Haz al-Din. He goes by at Infrahaz on Twitter, and he did he said he's actually inspired by the economic freedom fighters, but like he's American, obviously. And I know you support Malema. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I'd never heard of this guy. So what was
Yeah,
his
he's really good. Yeah.
What was his rally about?
It was basically about like freeing America, economic justice, and all that stuff.
Okay.
And I didn't watch the whole thing. I just heard about it briefly, but from what I've heard, he sounds pretty interesting. Yeah.
Okay. All right, I'll look into that. Thank you so much, Babsala.
Nope.
Let's get Rad in the building.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
What's up, Rad? How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, man. So what's on your mind?
I just had a question for you, Tariq. How do we tackle, I guess, what does victory look like to you with all everything that's going on? What does a W look like to Tariq?
It looks like true justice for everybody, meaning that nobody's mistreated and everybody who needs the most constructive help will get the most constructive help. That means real justice, and victory is replacing the system of white supremacists with a system of justice. Once we have a system of justice, that will be the ultimate win.
Now, when you say like white supremacy, are you talking about like only white people, or is it like a certain religious sect of white people that are in control?
No, there's a group of people called white supremacists, and there's millions of them who are running the show, and they control all areas of activity. We have to defer to them in every area of people activity, and they control and dominate it from top to bottom. When people talk about white supremacy, sometimes I think people mistake it for white extremist, like the Richard Spencers or the David Dukes. Those are white extremists. And to me, they're not that much of a problem because they come out and say exactly who they are. So we kind of say, if we see these guys, we know to kind of avoid them. I kind of have a respect for a white extremist who lets me know who he is. The problem is most of the white supremacists are not telling us who they are, but they control all sectors of society, and we feel the effect of white supremacy, but they have plausible deniability. So that's what the problem is. So the white supremacists, they're the judges, the prosecutors, the school teachers, the lawyers, the cops, who all believe in systematic white supremacy and maintaining that system. That makes sense?
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. And I've looked into this too, and I've tried to find like a common thread, between everybody who's in charge, all the judges, the governors, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It really like the thing that they all have in common is that they're Jewish.
That's not true.
You discovered that too?
That's not true.
Yeah, it is.
No, that's not.
Everybody who
Is
owns the
Ron
record
DeSantis is
labels.
Ron DeSantis Jewish? He's a suspected white supremacist.
He kissed the wall in Israel.
Is
He
he
worked for
Jewish
him.
though? Is he Jewish though?
If you're not Jewish, you have to bow down to the Jewish order. I mean, it's
Okay, well
pretty.
that means that all of you who believe in white supremacy are all on the same page then. So that's a
Well,
distinction without a difference.
I didn't say I'm a white supremacist. Don't be
Not
putting
you.
words in
I'm
my
just saying.
mouth.
I'm just saying people within your community who believe in white supremacy. Is Kyle Rittenhouse Jewish? He's throwing up white supremacist hand signs. Is he Jewish?
No, but Kyle Rittenhouse is just a kid. I mean, he's not in control of anything. He could barely
Don't mean
control his appetite. So
they
look at
made
him.
him a hero. They made him a white supremacist hero. All right.
Who's in charge of the media that puts up Kyle Rittenhouse?
Very good question. If there's this battle between the Anglo white supremacists and the Jewish white supremacists, The media, who y'all say are who owns the media?
The Jews.
Okay. Well, they were lockstep in line with Kyle Rittenhouse. They were protecting and promoting him. So what's the difference? What's the difference?
Why do you think that they did that?
Because they are on the same page of white supremacy.
Are they though? Because a lot of
Mm-hmm.
the Jewish organizations are always talking about white supremacy, so it seems like they're just putting them out there to get everybody riled up.
They don't really talk about white supremacy like that. No, they don't. When these white supremacists go shoot up places, the media, they get on code with them. They don't tell you about all of the little sleeper cells that they're connected with. They play the lone wolf game. They say, well, they're a lone wolf. They acted alone. But the white media, if a black person does something, they blame the whole neighborhood. So
Yeah,
yeah,
but when you
they're
say
on code with these white supremacists.
the white media, yeah,
Mhm.
they're white, but they're also Jewish, and then they also spread all this, white supremacy's a huge danger and all that stuff, and
They don't do
they
that.
don't actually view themselves as white people.
Yes, they do. They classify
No, they
themselves.
don't.
Why do they classify themselves as white?
They like to play both sides. Why
All right.
not? Why not get the
And if,
benefits of
and
both?
if you're able to play both sides, that means you're white enough. So that's still a problem. See how that works?
No.
Yeah, if you're able to play both sides, that means you're white enough. You're benefiting from the privileges and the protections of white supremacy. So that means you're white enough. So it's all white supremacy. We shouldn't. I'm not going to break them up for no reason. If you're still benefiting from white supremacy, see,
Well, they break themselves up. I mean, they say that they're not us.
well, no, they classify themselves as white, sir, and you just admitted
That's
that.
only to get the benefits, but they all got
Right.
dual passports to Israel.
All of them do. All of them do. Every white supremacist tries to get benefits of white supremacy by moving away from their own ethnic background. That's what makes you a white supremacist. You
Well,
see,
I
but
would argue
that's
that there's
part of
actually no
the
benefit.
sir.
I
Hold
would
on,
actually argue that there's.
hold on. That's part of the ritual of white supremacy. When the European immigrants came over here from Greece and from Italy, they said, "Hey," the white supremacists said, "Hey, if you want to be clicked in with us, leave all that Guinea Italian stuff. Leave that at the door. No, 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 no. You got to lighten up and tighten up, right? When you come over here from Greece, leave those gyros and all of that stuff over there. Don't, no, 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 no. You got to whiten up and tighten up when you come over here. Leave all that ethnic stuff. Get that accent out of here. Your accent is a little too ethnic. Get a little
Every
nose.
Greek person I know is very proud that they're Greek.
You don't even know what a Greek person is today. You don't even know what a Greek person is unless they told you.
So my Greek friends don't exist. They're not actually Greek
Well, you're there. You
because
wouldn't
they're
know.
not.
Well, you wouldn't know unless they told you. You don't see them running around with those beards and those thick accents anymore.
No, you can usually tell if someone's Greek.
Not really. Not really.
Yeah,
They fall under the banner of whiteness. You see? So it's all white supremacy. So we're not going to break them up. And also, you can't have two supremes. You can't have Jewish supremacy and white supremacy. That's an oxymoron. You can't have two supremes.
that's
You
right.
understand?
There's only Jewish supremacy.
No. Where were the signs that said Jews only around America? Where were the neighborhoods that said Jews only in America?
Tariq, they changed their last and first names to hide that fact. Come on, man.
Right. That means they were white enough, sir. Because I know the people like the Levitt brothers who created the modern suburbs, they didn't put Jewish only, they put white only people can live in these suburbs. So they were white enough. So that's what it is. So we got to deal with white supremacy, sir. You feel me?
Yeah, I don't see any white supremacy at all. I see Jewish
Yeah.
supremacy.
And denial of white supremacy is a form of white supremacy, sir. Denial of it.
How is that a form of enlightenment?
Because that helps to maintain it. If there wasn't white supremacy, why did so many people in the dominant white society who control society say that they're doing it for white supremacy? All of the white forefathers said white supremacy. Thomas Jefferson said white supremacy. Abraham Lincoln said, if I'm going to assign supremacy, it's going to be assigned to the white race. These are the white forefathers, sir. Jewish people didn't make them do that.
How
Did they?
can we be a white supremacist nation when we elected Barack Obama as president? I'm confused.
Really?
Yeah.
What power did Barack Obama have?
If like everyone, if this is like all white supremacy,
Hmm.
then why did we elect a black president?
Because you
If
elected
it's like
it was a
overwhelming.
because you elected a powerless token And the rule was he's never supposed to benefit black people or punish whites. And he didn't do either one. That's why you had no problem with him. He was a powerless token. That's why you were able to elect a black president. And under Obama, you went out here, your people were killing black people left and right, just to make sure psychologically you understood where the real status quo was, in the arms and hands of white supremacy, sir.
Do you think the entire country overwhelmingly voted for Barack Obama's first term because they thought he was a useless token?
They knew
Okay.
that when they put him in office, he's not going to help black people and he's not going to punish any white people on behalf of black people.
So
As
they were
long as
just
he's not
voting
going to
because
do
it was
that,
fun?
right? He didn't take no power away from anybody or give black people any power at all. More black people were murdered by police and race soldiers under Obama than the entire Jim Crow era.
Have you ever been to Israel, Tariq?
I've never been to Israel.
If you were invited to go to Israel, would you go?
That's so random. I don't even know who would invite me to Israel.
I don't know. Your Zionist buddies that help you pay the bills? I don't know.
So now here's the lies and the projection. Now, who are my Zionist buddies? See, this is where y'all fall off the rail. Y'all start lying. Now, who are my Zionist buddies?
I don't know. Who's ever paying you to conflate white supremacy and Jewish supremacy? I don't know who that is. But
So
it sounds like you're being very tactful with like conflating the two issues. And
so okay.
if
So
you
by that
spent this much
definition,
time
so if
looking at things, you would
so
realize
that
what I'm
means
talking
so
about.
that means you're getting benefits from white supremacy because you're protecting white supremacy. Because you're not attacking the white supremacists, so that means you benefited based on your logic you just threw on me.
Can you point out the white supremacy in the federal government?
Who runs the federal government?
The Jewish cabal?
White supremacists. There you go. See, you just proved it. So thank you for proving that white supremacy is the problem. That's what I've been saying. So we're on the same page. We're on the same page, and I appreciate you, Rad. Let me get some more people in.
So you
Thank you.
stand with
Thank you. Thank you. I like when they prove my point for me. All right. He proved my point for me. Thank you so much. All right. Amia, hop on, dear. Or guy, hold on. It might be a dude. Hold on. Amia?
Oh, hey. Hey,
Oh,
Tariq. Hope all is well.
name here. And I'm like, sometimes dudes be having names and I don't want to say the wrong thing. Hey, Amia, how are you?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good.
Oh yeah, to the white guy that relegated racism to only the South. And yes, there is a big Confederate flag on I-85 in Chesney, South Carolina. That's true. But I am glad that you stated that it's also the North
Mhm.
that also, is racist and that plays in that anti-Black American hate. So that means that all 50 states are complicit in anti-Black American hate.
Yes, they
But
are.
oh yeah, I'm sorry.
I'm saying, yes, they are, dear. Go ahead.
Yep. So, but to your title though, the Manosphere myth. Yes, I am finding that these tethers, they do gravitate toward the toxic manosphere, aka like the red pill, because this is what they practice in their homeland. They
Hmm.
can rape, kill women with impunity. So yes, these red pill tethers is what they are, and I agree they do need to break you off that bread so you can snatch edges for the second time.
Yes,
But
indeed.
before I go, yes, sir. Thank you so much for giving us the history with the humor. I think people forget that you are a historian. And congrats on Microphone Check, the
Thank
Rally for Reparations, and shameless plug. Please, everyone, go to marcelforcongress.com/donate if you have at least $10 to give. A great space per usual. Take care, fam.
Thank you so much. Absolutely. Our brother Marcel is in here, who is so phenomenal at the Rally for Reparations. And y'all got to support our brother. Marcel always brings that heat, always brings the fire. Shout out to that brother. And everybody, everybody at the rally was bringing that heat, man. People are still talking about the rally and how pleased they were. And the vibe and the buzz and the energy is still there, which was the whole point. Let's get Think in the building. Think.
Assalamu alaikum.
Hey, what's going on, brother? How are you?
Alhamdulillah. This is the very first time I've talked on your space. I want to give you shout out, Tariq, and I don't know all the names to everyone who I've heard on here. I've heard you a couple of times. I've heard a couple of other Black spaces, and I'm an older man.
Mm-hmm.
I was born in 61. Okay, so my view. I have a friend. She used to tell her kids, "When I tell you to do something, you need to do it because I can see further than you." And so I respect you young people. I really do. I want you to know that off the bat. And I'm not going to say anything negative because even though I'm older, I have a new baby. You know, I have a baby like 9 years old. My baby's like 9 years old. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So it's all good. You know what I mean? But I had a second chance to kind of do it right because the first time it wasn't right. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
God bless me with that. And I just want to say that I'm an American, African American.
There you go.
And reverted to Islam. Now, people can have different views on that. I was raised Christian, holiness, Baptist, Protestant. But the Quran, the Bible, and the original Torah, not the Talmud, these books are synonymous. A lot of the information is synonymous. I don't want to do the whole religious thing. That's not what this is about. I'm just trying to give you a background on who I am. So when I say what I'm going to say, you can kind of understand. So I kind of got into spaces and kind of got on Twitter really heavy when the Palestinian issue happened on October 7th. But I've been in tune with the Middle East and what's been going on in Africa and the Congo and different places all around ever since maybe 30 years ago, maybe 25 or 30 years ago.
I'm gonna have to land your plane, brother. Okay, because you all over the place. I don't know where you're going, brother. So shout out to you. I just had to land your plane. I don't know where you're going, brother. It's about to get, it's just kind of getting drawn out, and I was trying to give you a little leeway to get your footing, but yeah, I don't know where your narrative was going. He was all over the place. He's about to do a Lifetime story. Only thing I've learned is you are an older Muslim who was born in '61, and you got a 9-year-old, and I don't know where he was going.
Coming back to you.